All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of a Bigfoot discussion. Zach, how's it going, man?
Hey, it's going. I'm surviving.
You feeling all right?
A little lousy. I didn't sleep good last night. I was up and down till about 4 o'clock this morning.
Oh man. Um, yeah, we're gonna keep this simple. Nikki Cologne may be joining us tonight, so we'll see if she's able to jump on tonight. She may be getting herself situated, so I'm not sure what's going on. I know she acknowledged the link I sent her, so um, yeah, there's a couple topics I thought we'd get into and talk about tonight. But before we do that, I thought I'd give you a chance if there's anything you wanted to throw in there or share. I know you were telling me the other day that you were hearing things. I don't know if that was couldn't remember if that was a couple days ago or last night you were sharing something, or
I
maybe I may
think
be mistaken on that. I might be getting the
no.
time
You're
frame.
right.
Oh, okay.
No, you're right. I think it was like Sunday night. I think it was Saturday or Sunday night. I was sitting outside just chilling out, and I was just sitting out here in front of my garage, sitting on the cooler, just sitting there piddling on my phone, and it was just real. Let's just say they was vocal that night. There was one that let out a wail twice to the north of us, up on the other side of the main road, and then over by this my neighbor's place where we cut hay for him this last week. One let out a wail about 30 minutes after that. And then right out here behind the house, I heard one let out a whistle, just sound like just like that.
Oh wow. And what time of night was this?
I want to say it was probably about maybe 10 or 11 o'clock at night.
Ah, okay.
And then to the south of me, about an hour later, I heard a wood knock.
Hmm.
And I don't know if it was them just communicating back and forth or what, but I mean, it was and everything. I went outside and did a perimeter check to make sure there wasn't any coming up close to the house because we're just now having everything in our garden get to the ripest. And I was wondering whether or not they was communicating whether they was going to come steal something out of our garden or what.
Hmm. Have you found disturbances within your garden before?
Yeah, this year actually, Mom went out. I want to say about maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and she found partial of a toe print at the edge of the garden, right next to where our jalapeno plant is, and there was a bite out of the jalapeno plant, but then it was thrown back down, and whatever it was the
Did
bite that
not.
was took out of it was spit back on the ground.
Wow. Apparently, it got a taste of that that hot spiciness.
Oh God, we grow some pretty hot jalapenos here, because my little brother, he's got a stomach made of scrap iron. He'll eat jalapenos like they're candy, and he planted those, and I mean he'll eat them one after the other, just eat like fat kid eats cake.
Wow.
He was pretty pissed.
Man, I would be too.
I see Miss
Oh
Nikki
man.
jumped on.
Yeah, how you doing, Nikki?
Pretty good. Can you hear me okay?
Oh yeah, we hear you good.
Okay, good.
Loud and
So
clear.
yeah, we haven't had you on here in quite a while, Nikki. What's been
Oh
going on
my
with you?
gosh. I know. I kind of like stepped out of all the limelight. It just got so crazy and thing that it was just always negative. So I've just kind of like been trolling. Everybody's
Yeah.
favorite word. I just watch what everybody else is doing, but I've kind of kept to myself. I haven't been really going out very much in the woods, so it's
Right.
just watching what's going on and keeping up with all the craziness that keeps getting posted and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like
I
that.
know. I know a lot of it. I've been pretty much well set back on it, and I'm just observing a lot of it myself, and some of it by I've been taking some notes on some things, and that people present things to me, and they want to know my opinion about things. I was like, why you got to present this to me? I don't, you know,
I
because
know. I think I pissed off so many people, that they don't even want to ask me anymore. They just want to leave it at that.
well, I've been trying to when people present things to me that are usually pretty obvious, out of this world kind of stuff, or things that like you want to say to them, why you even bother asking me that? But I
Mhm.
got to the point where I feel that it's I try to respond positive, and try to give them a very
Yeah.
logical response, and without trying to offend people. For there's been a number of reasons lately that I've been trying to do that, and so I try my best, and
I know. I know you do, and it's all good. It's all good. There was a while there though, man. Ooh, I was pissing off everybody. And I'm like, I don't care, prove it to me. You can't prove Jack, so just keep on walking. You know?
exactly.
I
That's
think the
what.
last I think the last person that tried to ask me on my honest opinion was about a year ago. I think the last person that asked me, I said, and I'm not throwing no dirt on the guy, Chad Datum, went and asked me to go and find something, and we was actually sitting around Doc's table. Doc is my team member. We were sitting at his house having a team meeting about a year ago, and Chad started flooding my phone with everything and these pictures and these blurry ass photos. And everybody's looking at me and they're saying, "What's up?" And I slid my phone around the table. And I said, "Go through all those pictures. Tell me what you see." All eight of us said nothing.
Mm,
Yeah.
Eight of
Yeah.
us.
yeah.
Eight.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's. I don't know. I feel like some of those kind of pictures kind of slow down to a certain extent. Now, I mean, they're still out there, but yet, there's, just
A
say,
lot of the ones that were coming, that always seem to come up, like, oh, I don't know, the big red, and some of the older ones, the seven shoots, and the ones like, what was the one up there, the sequoia giant of the
oh,
sequoias, and
yeah,
those things. It's like clockwork. Once a year, somebody all of a sudden they see it for the first time, and it's been around for, shoot, 10 years already.
right,
So and it used to be really easy to go and find the back stories on all that stuff, but I noticed lately a lot of it's gone off of Google. I don't know. A lot of the old, what do you the chat rooms they used to
yeah,
have, they're gone, so you can't find all that information or the old photos anymore. And people want to claim, oh, it's real, and we disproved a lot of that stuff a long time ago.
Yeah,
So
when I first got started doing these podcasts, I started off, joining in on um, Shane Bradbury's,
yeah, that's where I
and
started too.
yeah, and I'll tell you what, I'm very impressed with the way between him and you and Henry May. Yeah, you guys were pretty good at digging up dirt or finding information that led to something that pretty much broke it
Right.
down, and it's like, hey, yeah, this is BS, guys.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we would get back into that and do that a little bit more because
Mhm.
there's so much out there that people are like, wow, look at this. Hey, that's a good shot, man. Please, I was like,
Yeah.
sometimes I was like, when I see people's comments on stuff, I was like, really, you guys jumping in on that so easily without trying to be objective towards it. So
Now,
Oh yeah, it's the
you're
same way
fighting
with
those
me.
you're
yeah.
fighting those guys with CGI now. They're getting better at what they're doing. So it's getting harder to disprove some of that stuff.
Well, have you seen? All right. Well, one of the latest things we've talked about. I don't know if you've seen it. Of course, I'm sure you've seen it floating around on Facebook. But the Michigan Bigfoot picture of the fisherman, and it was believed to be a juvenile Bigfoot stalking the fisherman, and supposedly he got those pictures.
Yeah.
Well, MK Davis, he recently did something I thought was very fascinating with what he did. Basically he did a prism split. Basically, was drawn it where there was darkness. It drew out. It put light where the darkness was, and like in the Patterson footage, in one of the clippings he did it to where when he did it, it revealed a tree that you couldn't really see,
Mm.
and it pulled out the contrast and showed the tree that was in the background, where in the footage it was so dark you couldn't see it.
I'll have to
Well,
go and look at that because I don't think I've seen that.
yeah, he just recently did it the other day, and what he did that in comparison to the latest photo, and with what he was able to do with the Patterson footage, he was not able to copy that and do that with the alleged Michigan photo. And so basically, what he was basically doing was taking real versus fake, and
Mm.
I was actually very impressed. I think to me, it spoke, it spoke a lot of word, just the way he did that. So it kind of told you something, like that's pretty impressive,
Yeah.
to pull out that kind of information, to do what he did. So,
I kind of
um,
have to take MK Davis with a grain of salt. Sometimes I agree with him, and sometimes I totally do not.
well, I'm going to be
So,
honest with you. I'm the same way. I
yeah.
think there's a lot of people that kind of go that way. A lot of people like what he does. Um, like for example, I think you may be on the same boat as me. The fence jumper. What if
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
that was a big issue right there. A lot of people agree that it's a Bigfoot. To me, that's too human. Like,
It
and
looks yeah, moving too human when it goes over. I think if it was a foot, it would have just stepped over, but it uses his hands and in a way a human would. It just did not look
yeah,
to me.
I've watched it over and over, even with the enhancements of everything. It just
Yeah.
because look at the way the subject puts his hands on the fence, steps over, and
Yeah.
happens to swivel, like, or not
Yeah.
swivel, but pivot, just like
Right.
a person would do to catch your footing to take off again.
Right.
Um, because in all these alleged photos and videos, Bigfoot's supposed to be graceful. Bigfoot's supposed to be a lot more coordinated than we are.
Mhm.
According to all these other things. Why does he look kind of sloppy like a human there? I mean, and then there was other photos taken later on of the property with the fence line, but what people don't realize, those are different angles. Those ain't showing you the angles where the subject was stepping and crossing.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, the fence looked higher up in the angle that you took there, and all this mess. So,
When you're doing comparisons like that, you have to have that same exact angle if you're going to do a comparison.
right.
You have to have the right amount of feet away, the angles, everything because it'll change the whole perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, this guy, Matthew Cleese on the live chat said, talking about how he put his hands down and stepped over. He mentions that because he didn't want to. I think he said it jokingly, but he said he didn't want to snag his junk.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, yeah, I mean,
No male wants to do that.
right. But now taking that as a serious note, if that's the fact, what about all the reports and stuff where, yeah, he just took one step over that 6 foot post like it was nothing. There was never no, in all these other reports where Bigfoot's allegedly stepping over a fence, you don't hear him about putting his hands down to catch himself. He's stepping over it, hands free.
Mm-hmm.
So why
Well,
did this?
well, tell me, how
Well, here's the
many
thing.
reports are there of how long a Bigfoot schlong is? I think we have to know that too.
Yeah,
Well,
you know what?
here's the thing, and this is coming from a farmer's point of view because I've got cattle, Daniel, and I've installed fence all my life since I was able to work. I um, any farmer in their right mind, where their livestock is, they'll put 5-strand barbed wire. 5-strand barbed wire will go up anywhere from 4.5 to 5 foot high. So and the Bigfoot had to put his hands down because the top strand of barbed wire was waist high. So, and you saw how he had to swing his leg over on that. Of course, you don't want to get hung up or anything because you got to remember that Bigfoot had that thick matted hair with all that crap in it, leaves, sticks, mud, and everything, and all those knots and everything. You'd think you get hung up with a knotted piece of hair on a barbed wire and it starts pulling it out, it's going to be painful. So why not push the top strand down?
Well, still, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You have all these other, like, a lot of these reports and documents. A lot of these stories have been reported on finding Bigfoot shows, for example. Oh yeah, he just took one step and he was over top of that fence. And a lot of these fences they do these reenactments on, or they go to investigate. They're usually these type of fences, and yeah, give or take, there's a few that I think are like wooden fences, but a lot of them are usually right where there's cattle. And because I know there's ones where Bobo's gone to try to, he's the tallest one out of the group, so he's gone and try to mimic these and try to see if he could replicate what the eyewitness is saying. So he'll go over there, and of course, he's not tall. He's got long legs. He's about 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", but he goes up there and he throws one leg over, and he's got to take the other one and work it and swing it over. He's just a little short for that. So, but some of these fences are either metal or barbed wire. Um, it just showing how tall Bobo is. He had trouble doing these things, and the thing is, again, back to the eyewitnesses, they're saying they did it gracefully. You know, so if this was a Bigfoot in the fence jump video, I know even my good friend and fellow teammate Greg Corbin believes it's the real deal. I mean, like anybody else, I disagree. I'll agree. I'll agree to disagree because a lot of it's you know, I don't know. It's just I'm not one of those ones. I look at things very carefully. I think about things. It's always good to think outside the box, but you got to be careful thinking outside the box because it'll take you away from reality sometimes. And again, I'm just thinking if that was a Bigfoot, he was awful clumsy, and you know, but that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion.
Well,
So
that's what people need to understand is that everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
right,
And people get really hurt feelings when you tell them, nope, that's a bush. Sorry, that's a bush. And they have a fit and they get all these people that back them, and then you just get slammed
right.
because everybody's real brave online. Everybody are sitting behind their computers, so it's easy for them to take sides, and it's getting harder to give your opinion these days.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, the other day on Instagram, there's a lot of this one feller that posts a lot of root wads and stumps and burls on trees on Instagram saying nice Bigfoot, nice dog, man. I told him, I said and I comment, I'll be blunt about it. I say that's a nice root wad right there.
Yeah.
And then they get pissed off, and I said, listen, I can guarantee I can go up there and kick the shit out of that thing, and that thing would not jump up and rip my arms off. I can kick the shit out of it all day long and wear my boot out before that thing will jump up and beat the shit out of me.
Yeah. Well, I agree for Zach, because I have seen a few that were very obvious uprooted trees with the root balls. One in particular I seen, it was shared by another, and they didn't mention who it came from. But when I saw the photo, I said, "This is too familiar." And I know, Nikki, you're very well familiar with all of Ed Waterman's photos.
Oh God.
Well,
He
somebody
was
should.
so pissed at me. Oh my God. You should have seen what he called me. Good Lord, I can't even say it because
Oh my goodness.
he was so mad at me saying crap about one of his photos. And oh good Lord. We finally had to block each other
Oh man.
because it got really ugly, and he was spreading all kinds of crap in all of his groups about me. But he's got nasty, and I'm like, hey, I'm not the one living in my mom's barn, go do whatever you need to do. So,
Oh Lord.
and that pissed him off more, of course, but
Well, see, I would have, I had him on my friends list for a long time. I don't think he's still there. I don't think I have him blocked it. I still see him post and comment in some groups on occasion.
mm-hmm.
But you know, I think basically with what was going on with there is he was being pissed off because you were coming down on his fantasy, his make believe world,
Oh yeah, you
and
know.
what got me is how are so many people. I was watching everybody that would comment on his stuff. Everybody went for it. I said, "Come
Yeah,
on, are you serious?" And of course, these are the same people that believe in, yeah, they could cloak and look like a stump.
We ain't
I
dealing
mean,
with Predator here, Daniel. Get back to the story.
what's that? Ain't
We
dealing
ain't
with what?
dealing with the Predator.
Hey, the predator's coming back, so watch out. I'm ready for that one. I like the predator.
mm.
So yeah, but
No comment. I'll keep my comment to myself.
look here. Reverb Twang said people want to believe. Of course, yeah. Of course,
Hey, I
people want to
believe.
believe.
I'm a believer, but I'm also a skeptic. you
There
know,
you go.
I am, and I can be both. I want to believe. I think they're really out there, but I have not seen one, and I haven't seen anybody prove to me that there's one out there. So,
Yeah.
until because I don't, I love footprints, but to me, that's all they are. It's just a footprint. Unless you've seen a Bigfoot make the print and you recorded it, it doesn't mean a whole lot.
Right. Right. Um.
Because of double bear steps, and like that one from last or the other day when we were looking at, and you flipped the photo,
Yeah.
now it was so obvious it looks like a double bear print, but at
Yeah.
first I was like, dang, that looks good.
Yeah. That's a thing. I believe in a lot of different things. Like even with the structures I come across, I can't just look at one view and say, "Damn, that's like a real good. That's real awesome." I have to go around it. I have to look at it, because a lot of what I find, some I do find that like this has got to be just natural. Then on the other hand, I said this is impossible for the wind to blow it this way. How did that root ball get up there underneath all those other things up in the air? Like for example, there was a teepee structure I came across, and yeah, one of the trees that were or one of the trees, small trees that were made to make this teepee, had a root ball wedged up into the tree, and the other trees were crisscrossed over top of it. I said somebody or something with hands did that. I said weather
hmm
ain't gonna do that. So I mean, I have to
well,
look at things carefully, which is fascinating either way to find out if you could rule out weather and other natural causes, wildlife. I mean, that's awesome. But I also find it amazing if you could. Okay, hey, this is cool looking, but well, after studying this, my conclusion is, yeah, this was natural from weather or something. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I want to know
That's the thing I
why.
go on whenever I give a lecture. I always make sure to reiterate and hammer to the point where you got to be able to rule out nature, wildlife, and human interaction.
Right. Nick,
And
go ahead,
I
Nikki.
I want to know why when somebody takes a photo or a video and they're like, "Look at that. Doesn't that, it looks like a Bigfoot." And maybe it does, and then that's it. That's all they have on the video. Where's the video of them walking up to that object and proving that it either runs away, growls at them, or it's a root ball or tree or a stump or bush or whatever. You don't hardly see any of the researchers these days with their videos
Yeah, I'll tell you.
uncut, walking up to whatever they're seeing out there. And I understand if you think it's a wild animal and you don't want to die,
Right,
but
right.
there's got
Which
to be.
which Fred will tell you that. I mean, I sent
Yeah,
him an invite to come on, and I know Fred will tell you that because Fred always comes back. Well, would you approach a wild animal? Well,
right,
how do you know it's a wild animal unless you take a chance? Um, like if it's a bear, if you get so close, I mean, probably 95% of the time that bear is going to go the other way anyway. Or in most cases,
right.
here on the East Coast, black bears they're very skittish. They don't want to be messed with. They're like
Hmm.
a number of the cases I've had encounters with black bears. Some of them were close, but most of them that I've seen, like, oh, they're already starting to trot and jog and go away, go the other way, because before you saw them, they've already smelled you and they already know you're in the area. Bears are not
Hmm.
stupid; they're very smart and they've got a keen sense of smell. So but yeah, again, unless it's a mama bear, she's got a couple of cubs. If she can't run away because of her
Right,
cubs, she's going to stand her ground. That's a totally different scenario. So,
right.
but no, there's talking about skeptics, because I try to get. We were talking. Well, me and Fred were the other day. We were talking about a couple different things, and Fred just so happened to bring up Bill Brock. Supposedly
Yeah.
Fred was claiming that Bill Brock was going to confirm something Bigfoot related, and I was like, well, I was trying to tell Fred. I said, well, I don't know how Bill Brock confirms something when he's a hardcore skeptic himself. You
Right.
know, a lot of people. I
What
don't think
now
people.
recently or what? What's the story behind that?
What about Bill Brock being skeptical?
No, that he was going to release something.
Oh no, I didn't say he was going to release something. No,
Oh, oh,
no, it's just
oh.
something that Fred was discussing that supposedly in the past where Bill Brock confirmed something that
Oh.
related to something to do with some alleged DNA, and and then I was trying to figure out and understand what Fred was saying because I said, well, I got puzzled because I haven't had a sit down talk with Bill Brock, but I'm very familiar with his character and where he stands, and
Mm-hmm.
I know he's a pretty strong skeptic. He doesn't fall for anything. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so that's what kind of got me puzzled. I said, how is he going to confirm this is something Bigfoot related when he's a skeptic
Mm-hmm.
about Bigfoot in general altogether? And so I don't know. These kind of things kind of puzzle me sometimes, but I would love to get him on here with you. I mean, I think that would be a great thing because he's he wants to believe, he wants to know, he just needs more proof and more evidence himself.
Yeah.
And he's on a mission to do that. And so the only time I
I
did get to talk to him on the phone is when my sister ran into him up in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, somewhere where she was up at some convention, and I get a phone call, and I was like, I recognize the number, and I was like, hello, and I was like, my sister's like Melanie, my sister Melanie, she's like, hey, I'm with somebody that knows you. I met somebody that knows you. I said, huh? What are you talking about? And then Bill Brock gets on the phone. He said, hey man, it's me. I said, but who? I
oh
wasn't
man.
expecting that. That was like threw me way off, But it was pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I've always liked his stuff, but then he went off into the all the cryptids and did that show and the underground thing, and um I was really looking forward to him being on the $1 million um what was it called? The Bigfoot
$10 million Bigfoot
yeah,
bounty.
bounty thing. But he escaped out at the last minute.
mm. What
So
are you talking about? What Bill Brock? You mean?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he was originally gonna be a part of that.
Well, I think the
Yeah, he
story.
was, and then they called in Richter to go and replace him.
Ah, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, because so it would have been Bill Brock and uh, man,
Bill
what's his
Brock,
name?
Stacy Brown.
Yeah.
No,
No,
Dax
no, it
Rushlow.
was Dax. Yeah, Dax
Dax
Rushlow.
Lumber. Yeah, okay, that's right. I couldn't think of his name for a second. I haven't.
But then Dax quit too. What didn't
Did
he?
he? No,
Or
he went
was
all
he
the way.
in it?
Yeah, he
Oh
was
no,
in
he
it.
was. He was in it, but there was somebody else. Oh, it wasn't Brock supposed to come be with Richter?
Yeah, I think there was some confusion. I know Richter tried to explain all that, what was going on
Oh
back and
man, it's
forth.
been a while now, but anyway.
But yeah, I think yeah, Bill excuse me, Richter and Dax, they went all the way through.
You're right, you're
Um,
right. Yeah.
so yeah, so that was interesting. That'd be cool if they do something like that again, you know. But maybe
Didn't
choose a different location this time.
yeah, it didn't get as many views as
Reviews.
they were hoping. So
Oh, huh.
because they had been talking about doing the sequel or doing another one, but nothing ever came of it.
Yeah, I think what part of it was it threw a lot of people off was the name. And I think people getting the wrong, a lot of people getting the wrong concept or wrong or misunderstanding when they hear the word bounty. Like, oh, these guys are gonna go out first one to kill a Bigfoot gets his $10 million bounty.
Yeah.
So I think that was what was kind of going through some people's heads back then when that was going on. But so so.
If they do that, you and me are entering to go on it, Daniel.
If
Oh
they chose,
man.
yeah, it would be. So would that be Tweedledee and Tweedledum, or
Yeah,
Dumb and Dumber?
I'll be D, and you be dumb.
It'll be Dumb and Dumber.
Well, D's my middle name, so you can be dumb.
Oh Lord.
I think the only ones that got any promotion out of that was Stacy Brown, and because he won, and then he did. Now he's doing all the movies,
Yeah.
and Richter, but Richter's crazy, so he does his own thing.
Mm. Um. There was something. Oh, this is totally off of what we're discussing, but there's something else I wanted to bring up tonight. And if you guys seen, I shared a link, and I know everybody's familiar with Ronald J. Moorhead and the Sierra Sounds, and this Sierra Sounds go back to what 2013, I think, or 2000, or around that time, maybe a little longer. But I know a lot of it's been analyzed. I think they had their sounds for a long time, and then finally, when things started being put out there, they started getting things analyzed and everything. Um, I was actually listening to the sounds earlier today, and man, I'll tell you what, they're very cool, man. They're very fascinating to hear the sounds. And Scott Nelson. Anybody know Scott Nelson? He's a cryptolinguist. And from what I understand, he's also a two-time graduate of the Navy. Something I can't remember the rest of it, but very educated man, and he's good at what he does. And also, I believe he's similar to what the Navajo um, back in World War I, World War II.
Wind talkers.
Yeah, the Wind Talkers. He can break codes. He can pick up languages and stuff, and identify languages. So that's kind of part of what he does, and he specializes in several different languages. In Spanish, he teaches us a Spanish course as well. So I was looking into some things, and what made me look into it is, well, we were talking about this briefly the other day too, and I was discussing this with Fred. That's another reason I wish Fred was on here so he could share what he was saying. But I was taking notes about a few things. Now, one of the things they did when they analyzed the sounds, where in the Scott Nelson, one of the first things he did before he identified the sounds as some type of language, he slowed it down. Well, actually, excuse me. Yeah, they slowed it down. But I was also watching again. MK Davis. Actually, MK Davis recently slowed it down. And I was listening to what MK Davis did because Fred sent me this. That's how I got this. Fred sent me this about the Sierra sounds. How MK Davis was playing around with the sounds. So, first he played the sounds were original. You know how they're fast gibberish type sounds. Well, he slowed it down 50%. By slowing it down 50%, um, it really played it out like a normal slow talk, like I'm doing right now, versus blah, 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 blah. Get it? So when he did it 50%, which is a lot, they slowed it way down. All right. Um, as far as the language, they come to the conclusions that they believe it is definitely a language. They're also saying it's not human. The language, what they say, because it doesn't match up with anything known, any known language anyway. All right, so it comes back as something unknown. All right, as far as this language, Scott Nelson confirms this for Ron Moorhead. All right. Now I know there's. Oh man, that's why I wish Fred was on here because I don't want to think. I want to use what Fred was saying versus what they say because Fred, could defend himself in this. So, um, basically, what Fred was saying, if you slow it down 98 to 99%, which you'll hear a language. Now, if you listen to it the way MK Davis slowed it down at 50%, it had a slow talking, whatever the sounds were, you can make out the sounds a lot clearer with the syllables, okay, and which was very fascinating. Now, imagine slowing it down 98 to 99%. You won't get nothing. So, I don't think Freud gets that concept of percentages of sounds, and especially if you listen to what MK Davis did. That was at 50%. You slow it down to 98%, you're not going to get nothing being played, basically. You might get a distorted, long, extended, it might take you 3 minutes to get a sound out. But, um, so anyway, I don't know how much you guys listen to or study the Sierra sounds of what's being put out there. But, my question is, if it is a language, well, they said it's a language. Again, it's not human. They said it's nothing known to any human. Then again, you got some people saying, "Oh, if you slow down any Bigfoot sounds, you're going to pick up language, and it's going to be Cherokee."
But how do they know? Okay, and
Right.
you're saying it's Cherokee, but I haven't seen anybody come forward being able to translate that stuff. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
exactly. That's what Fred mentioned this the other day, and that's what I humbly was trying to get my point across. I says, well, he was part of our conversation was through Messenger, and I was trying to question him, which actually I should bring it up and so I can look at it clear. But that's what gets me. I says they said it was nothing known. There was if it was a human language, they would have been able to identify it as whatever language, whatever it could have been, if it was any known human language. So that's what puzzles me. Um, so if it was a human language, we would hear something, we would know something. There would be a translation. Like yeah, exactly what you're saying,
It's
Nikki.
just speculation at this point that it is a language because I guess they pulled out syllables and
Right.
repeating fragments that
Yeah.
kept coming up, and that's why they want to call it a language. But it's not a language we would know, and honestly, anybody could go make those sounds and repeat them over and over again, and they you'd have to call it a language.
Right.
You
That
know,
makes
because
sense.
it you can he, how do I say this? If I go and I hear a chimpanzee or an ape, and then I try to duplicate that in the woods somewhere, and you recorded me, and I keep repeating them, it's the same thing. We don't know, those guys were out there, but we don't really, we want to believe them. that, oh, they sat there and listened to a Bigfoot conversation and got it recorded. But it's their word against the rest of the world because we just don't know,
Right.
you know?
Absolutely. That's why, even though I consider this a very fascinating piece of evidence, regardless of which way we could look at this, it's still mysterious. Um, I mean, I'm not familiar with sea areas, like wherever they had their camp set up at.
Hmm.
But apparently, with the way Ron Moorhead said, whatever was doing this, one of them was right over top of their camp, right over the,
Hmm.
they had a lean-to shelter, and they were hearing this over top of their, one was making it, yeah, they were making it out, whatever it was right there. All right, and apparently the other one was a little distant, and so they believe there was at least a couple of them around there communicating back and forth, and
Hmm.
so, and then, then the other thing was there was a 20, I think, what was that, 20-inch track, or 20, yeah, I think that's what it was. Don't hold me to
Wow.
that. I'm pretty sure they did found a 20-inch track right out in their camp area, and they did an estimate of like, all right, 20-inch track, to figure about what they were doing the math. They did the calculation. That would have been about a 13-foot stride. You know, that's
Now,
why
now
they only. Yeah,
during
go ahead.
during this whole thing when they're recording this, did Ron ever mention that he actually saw the creatures making the sounds?
No, not that I know. As far as I know, there was no visual.
Okay. See, I'm never sure about that, and that which just makes it more suspect to me. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you're that close, because those are really loud, and
Um.
if and he made statements that it was right there, and they have all this equipment, why were no photos or something captured as well?
Right.
You know,
Now, Ron
it's just
Moorhead wasn't the only
yeah,
one that was there.
right, right,
At some other date, there was another guy. I forget his full name. His name was Al something. But there
yeah.
was this guy Al that was there. Ended up, I think later on, was able to record his own sounds. That were very similar to that area,
Hmm.
from that area. So I don't
Well,
know
isn't
the
that
time
kind of
frame.
funny? It's just like on Sasquatch, Ontario. He had a bunch of sounds and Flower and Mike and this thing talking, and he went on for years and years. And then all of a sudden it came out, it was the son of the owner doing all that crap. And people still want to believe that
Yeah.
Sasquatch was out there talking,
Oh yeah.
and it wasn't. So it's just hard to get around all this fake stuff and want to believe that, okay, this is a real one. How do we prove this was a one real recording of Sasquatch, or all the sound bites that we get. It's more believable to go off a porch and have those videos where people are recording something screaming out there in the distance because you really don't know what it is.
Oh yeah.
Those seem more believable to me than any kind of product Ron Moore has, or all these clickbait Sasquatch channels. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. As in the words of Zach, if you think about it too much, it hurts your brain too much trying to think about
Yeah, it
Asshole.
it does. It does.
it. I didn't mean to steal your words, Zach, but I was saying it does. Like, if you want to try to keep on top of it and think about it and try to understand it. But yeah, if like it kind of it boggles your mind sometimes, because you you want it to be legit, but then there's always a mystery behind the evidence. There's
All
Here's
of
the
always.
these
thing with me.
researchers.
Here's the thing with me, because I've got a processing disorder. I don't think straight. You have to really break it down for me to really understand. That's the reason I say my brain hurts. Because people go and they break it down, they're using words that have no damn idea what they mean. Because I come from a small high school that didn't really teach you big words. And it's I got a real I'm real I like I say I'm a C+ man. And they're like, that means that we're smart. Some of us are smarter than you. I say, yeah, but I'm smarter than the rest of you.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, there's a lot of things that people don't know about my history. I was never diagnosed with nothing, but I was in what back in high school, I had what you call special ed classes. I was slow learner in math and English, so that's why my grammar sucks. So I guess I don't know, but the thing is, there are certain things I learned at a slower pace, but once I learned them, I got really good at it. I got it like it stuck in my head. And things started coming at. But yeah, there was a few things I was a slow learner at. It's just like learning. If I want to learn something, I'll start looking into it. I'll start researching it. I'll start studying it, and the more I research and more I study, things start making sense to me. I start putting pieces together with what I'm looking at. Because I may not understand one thing, and I'll look at something else to continue my research and what I'm looking at. So, oh, that's what this is saying. So there's like my research and my studies. There's pieces of the puzzle. I may not understand from one text, but I might take it from another reading or something, and it'll make sense to me. And yeah, and Zach, as far as big words go, I don't know a lot of big words either. I mean, some I might be able to pronounce them, but I may not know what they mean. So I mean, if I don't know what they mean, I'm not going to use them. But so if I do come across big words in my research and my studies, I am going to look them up because I need to know what they mean in order for me to understand what I'm looking at. So, Nikki, we got a question on live chat from for you. Um, Nikki, hey, what about the guy by the fire department? You hear that one?
Fire department. Is it the one about the foot that we were looking at the other day, or?
That's what I'm wondering about. Matthew Cleaves, are you referring to the firefighter who took the photo of the track up in Canada? So I don't know. We'll see what he says here in a second.
Okay. Because I haven't heard anything about
Yeah,
a fire
Well,
department. Only about
yeah,
that fireman, that wildlife guy, whatever.
well, I ran those pictures by the members of my team that's on the fire department, and they said those aren't no
Sounds in the wood.
shit. What's the word for it? It isn't fire department issue wear for them to wear because they have to wear special boots, special pants, and everything. And a majority of my team is on the Crab Orchard Fire Department, and and one of them is the captain of the brigade. He's battalion chief, and he told me, he says that's not standard issue wear gear that guy was wearing.
Hmm. What in that photo?
Yeah.
But even up in Canada, maybe they have a different type of footwear or something. I don't know. I'm
No,
just
because
guessing.
he has to go to all these meetings and everything and all these uh conventions and everything to represent the fire department out here, and they have like displays there from old fire uniforms and everything from all across the country and up in Canada and stuff like that. He says that's not a standard issue.
Yeah.
Well, I know that the hot shots and all the other force, they have all different kinds. They do not have one that they use. Because I know many as well, and they use what they have. So I
Well,
don't
here's another
think
thing.
that matters.
Yeah, that makes sense too. What I was going to say too is if it's a scenario, if it's a situation, and there's an off-duty volunteer or personnel from that fire department, and then they get a call across their scanner or whatever. Hey, we got emergency. We got this going on. Such a if they're not in the department in their gear, they're gonna respond with what they got on. You know.
The main guys who are part of the group, they do get issued their wear, but you have volunteers who are just temporary guys who come in
Yeah.
just to help on certain fires, and they're given leftovers. They're just given whatever's there.
That's the same
They're
with my
not,
guys.
you know.
That's the same with
Oh,
my guys. The fire department, the Wimpson County Fire Protection Unit 3 station up in Crab Orchard, that's all just run by volunteer firefighters. Sometimes they don't even the same two guys can go on the same call in a week.
Yeah.
And they all have to share the same outfits. They all have to go to the station and suit up and ride out on the engine.
Yeah. Everybody say hello to Wes Germer. He is on the live chat as Sasquatch Chronicles. Hey, Wes. So, if you
Hello,
if you guys
Wes.
if you guys don't know who Sasquatch Chronicle is, he's the man. So, shout out to Sasquatch Chronicles, Mr. Wes Germer. So,
Okay, Matthew said no. Sounds in the woods.
I'm not familiar
So
with that.
I
Sounds
don't
in the
know. I'm gonna
woods.
have quick tell me on the chat where you found it at or where how I can find it, and I'll check it out real quick. Real quick.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, that's a definitely that's a new one. It's something to do with the fire department and sounds in the woods. Sounds in the woods by a fire department or something.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
guess.
Yeah, that's I'm just it's not it's definitely not ringing a bell to me. Does this
Me either.
anything to you, Zach?
Say what?
Are you familiar with anything but sounds in the woods by a fire department or anything like that?
No.
Okay, yeah, I can't figure it out either. So maybe they could give us a little bit more details about what they're asking. It was by Matthew Cleves, who's trying to figure something out. I guess he wants to know Nikki's opinion or ask if she's heard about it. So, hmm.
Now I want to go find it.
Um, let me see if I can do a. Are you? What are you doing, Nikki? Are you doing a Google search?
I'm gonna get on my phone right now because
That's what I'm doing.
I'm following the live chat on my phone, so I don't have to mess with my tablet. But I'll get off the live chat for a sec
All right.
and see if I can do a quick search. See what we're looking at. Sometimes you can just go to YouTube and somebody's already got it up there. But
Um, I did a Google search, and
anything come up?
well, so far, fire department noise.
Cue the Jeopardy music.
Do 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 do. I don't know.
Nah, nothing Bigfoot related is coming up. Uh, let me do this.
Firefighters Bigfoot encounter. There's
Hmm.
did a firefighters Bigfoot encounter based on a true story.
Oh, here's one. It's from 2017. Screams of Bigfoot with a question mark. Yeah, man terrified when chilling sounds emerge from the woods. Hold on, let me click on it to read the rest. Right. A man was baffled when terrifying noises were heard coming from the woods next to his house. In the terrifying footage, okay, there is a video footage here. The terrifying footage, the bloke talks to the camera as strange sounds emanate in the background. A couple 100 feet from my house, and you could hear it in the background. He says, "What sounds like hysterical laughter, screeches, are here, which carry on for several moments. The startled onlooker as kind of sounds like a hyena or dog, but it's really strange to say the least." Well, I could hit play, and maybe we could all listen to this through my mic if it lets me. Hold on. Hold on. There's an advertising going on first. So as soon as the advertising starts playing, we might get something here.
Give us a backstory. Where was this supposedly recorded?
I'll see if it says anything in a little bit. Hold on. I read what it had on there.
Well, Nikki's gone.
From my house, and you hear it going off in the background right now. Kind of sounds weird. Kind of sounds doggish, hyena-ish, but you can hear it going off in the background right now. It's really kind of strange, just to say the least. It's been going off for about 15-20 minutes so far by the fire station. And it's pretty crazy, so if you can listen, that'd be crazy. Hold on.
I've heard those sounds. Yep, that was it. Let me see if I can find out where it came from.
See, because I heard the word mate in there. It could be from either the UK or it could be from Australia.
Yeah.
By the way the guy's accent sounds, it sounds like it could be Australian.
All right. All right. All right. Nikki says she's trying to get back on.
I was going to say, because if that's Australia, they've got dingoes that make a sort of a laughing style howl.
Right. But, you know, it's funny, hearing that, I have heard similar sounds here in the woods, in the national forest. Which could be, I'm thinking, it could be definitely canine. Like, coyotes make a lot of different vocals, a lot of sounds that people are very unfamiliar with.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a possibility. It could be some kind of weird coyote, or, like you say, a dingo, because I'm not from... Oh, hold on. Let me do something here. I'm going to try to help Nikki get back on. I'm going to resend her the link. See if that helps.
Because here in the woods of southern Illinois, I've heard noises in the woods that sound like laughing, and it turned out it was an owl.
Yeah.
An owl will make like a toot-toot-toot kind of coo, and it goes and it sounds like laughing.
Now, yeah, one of the most common owls we have in the national forest out here is the barred owl, and their barred owl is the most common. Then we have, I do believe there is the great horned owl, which they make a hoot sound.
They make a screeching sound.
Yeah, some of them do. Yeah. All right, we'll see what happens with Nikki. See what she gets back on. Let me go back to the live chat. There's Nikki.
Yep, that link helped.
Yeah, Wes mentions on here the Blue Mountains of Washington. If I'm pronouncing this right, Umatilla, Washington, to be exact.
That totally sounded canine or fox or something. I don't know.
Well, he goes on to say, listen to the end. It tells something when it is being shot at. Could be a coyote. Like, and then he says something about yells. I don't know. Yeah. That was definitely interesting. A Reverb Twang says owls, foxes, and coyotes can make weird ass sounds. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot of foxes. Not particularly in my area where I camp at and stuff, but my father used to have property on the other side of Virginia, and we had foxes all over the place over there. And you'll start hearing them before the sun goes down, and then when when it's dark out there, yeah, they start. You'll hear them. You're like, what the heck? They do give off some weird, bark screeches. Screechy barks. So.
And then if
Oh
you're in a
yeah, we've
canyon,
got
those
them
are
out.
creepy.
We've got them out here like crazy. We got about as many foxes as we do coyotes out here in Williamson County, and I've heard them at night, and some of them make sound. They'll make you sit up in your tent too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I tell you, the one thing that freaked me out one time. This is probably about 10 years ago, camping out there in my research area. I was laying there. This is right before we went to lay down. It was this is not in my main camp area. This is a couple of miles from where I normally camp. We had a fire going, and then something right across the forest, bro, gave off this god awful scream, and it was like, thinking back on it, the closest I could relate it to would be a bobcat. And but regardless of what it was, we didn't know because it was dark. And so finally, we had a good fire going, but we finally decided to lay it down, and everybody was asleep, and I had trouble sleeping that night. And then I was feeling a little on edge because I'm laying there and I'm hearing something walking on the outside of our tent, and I couldn't tell if it was real heavy or not, but the steps it stepped on you could tell when it stepped on a limb because the limbs would snap, you know. And I was like, what the heck is out there? I'm tossing and turning. Well, I'm trying to stay still and listen at the same time. And finally, whatever it was kind of went off. But so I don't know. It was kind of freakish though, but it's amazing what kind of sounds you will hear out in the woods.
Oh, I know this weekend I totally got blindsided by elk bugle. I wasn't
Really?
expecting it. I totally wasn't expecting it. And it just came out from the side, and I was like, whoa, that's an elk. That's an elk. Why are you doing so close to me? Because we were up in the mountains, but we were at a cabin, and there was a lot of people around. So I'm like,
Oh
dang,
wow.
why are you so close?
Yeah,
And
I was gonna say, yeah, you must have been out in the woods because where you live, where your new house is, you guys got
oh yeah,
flatland.
no. Yeah, no, we're in the desert, but 2 hours north of here is a huge squatchy area. And we went up there for a concert. So we just rented a cabin real quick for the night, because there you can get a cabin the same price as Super 8, So
Oh,
and
cool.
we went and did that, and there was deer right out in the front yard, and we were leaving the next morning, and big old bugle, scared the crap out of me. I'm like, dang, that's really close. But I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Wow.
Oh, that reminds me.
Uh oh.
Okay, in this particular area of Cloudcroft, New Mexico, okay, there is an observatory. And this last week, actually, it's been 2 weeks now. Um, this observatory on top of the mountain was evacuated of
Really?
all personnel in the area, and all residents that were in this like 5 mile radius of the mountain
Right.
were evacuated. And nobody was saying why. Not the people evacuated, not any of the residents. And the news people here in El Paso and in the surrounding areas have been trying to get information. Well, the sheriff's department that's there said um, they have no idea why the mountain was evacuated. And they're the ones who rule that area because it's also surrounded by the Mescalero Indian Reservation. So they would know. So then they went and they asked the FBI, and the FBI said, we can neither confirm nor deny that area was evacuated
Mm.
due to a dangerous suspect.
What?
Okay, but if it was
What the
like
hell?
a dangerous suspect out there, up there in the mountains, wouldn't the sheriff's department be in on that manhunt?
Exactly. What in the
Why
world?
would the FBI be all into that? Unless maybe it was a marijuana thing up there in the woods, because they grow all over, and I'm thinking maybe it's a jurisdictional thing, but it was totally weird. And I have had contacts with people in that area who hear strange howlings at night.
Wow.
So that was like a new area I was gonna start hitting, and so it's really weird, and it's like the news doesn't want to say anything about it, other than they're going to continue the investigation to see what happened up there, because today was the first day they were allowed to go back up there.
Hmm. Yeah, because
Sounds like we may have a rogue animal on that mountain.
That's what I think. And that area does have bear, and it does have cat, so it could be any of that. But why would they say, a suspect, or however they put
Sounds
it?
like
I can't
something out of a
remember.
sci-fi movie.
Right, it does. And if you go directly west from that area, still about maybe 100 miles, you have Socorro, New Mexico, which is where they have the array of dishes that SETI uses to listen to aliens.
oh,
For aliens. And on the other side of Cloudcroft, a little bit north, is Roswell. So there's all kinds of crazy stuff that happens in New Mexico right there.
damn it! The aliens got loose from
Sounds like-
Roswell, Area 51.
I know, right?
or you got a rogue Bigfoot on the loose.
We got a rogue Bigfoot, and they're chasing it somewhere up there.
Well, looking at the live chat, according to Woolly Burger, he's familiar with the area, and Matthew Cleves heard about that too. Because Woolly Burger said, "Yeah, Sun Observatory."
Yeah.
And he goes on to say FBI moved them out and shut down the post office too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Somebody
it was a
getting
big
their
deal.
mail on time.
Yeah, Woolly Burger said it could have been a federal fugitive or Indian. Then Reverb Twang says police will never be on it. Any Bigfoot body will be Roswell ASAP.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to say there'll never be a discovery.
Yeah.
And then Matthew Cleese says, "Yep, I think so too." Matthew said.
I just thought that was interesting. Who knows? It could have been, fugitive up there, but.
Well, if it's, let's say it's not a fugitive. I mean, if it is something mysterious, cryptid, yeah, they're evacuating people because they don't want. If somebody else sees it, then there's going to be witnesses. So they're eliminating. That's what I feel like. They're eliminating witnesses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just recently, up north of here in Carmi, Illinois, we had 3 prisoners escape from the high maximum security facility up in Carmi. These 3 guys escaped from a prison by taking a pipe and knocking a hole in the brick wall and crawling through the wall to get through the outside wall of their cell and escaping back into civilization from the prison. And it took them about 3 months to catch these guys, but they didn't evacuate anybody. They just said lock your doors and lock everything up and let the local law enforcement deal with it. These was 3 convicted convicts of murder, rapists, and grand larceny. They did not go and evacuate everybody within a 5-mile radius, because even though if it was 5-mile radius, these same guys made it about 20 miles south of here, and one was arrested in the next town over from me. So this is throwing up so many red flags that this is some kind of rogue animal that they're worried about. Because in a 5-mile radius out there, especially in the desert, you got all that wildlife out there. So there's going to be a lot of people out there that's going to be armed.
Yeah.
So why would they be worried about if it was a fugitive? They need to go, because they're throwing up so many red flags here. They're trying to cover up something, but they're doing a shitty job of it.
Exactly.
Well, in this whole area, El Paso is one of the biggest military bases. We have Fort Bliss here, so all of the military guys have weapons. And then up there, going up towards Alamogordo, which is going up towards this Cloudcroft area, there's Holloman Air Force Base. So they also are military guys up there. And then you have White Sands Missile Base right there. So this whole area is like has a lot of carrying people who carry weapons and firearms. I don't know. It just didn't seem, the story didn't seem right the way they were reporting it.
Yeah, because like we're on a live chat, Reverb said, if it was a fugitive on the loose, the cops would be involved. Which to me that makes sense.
Right.
And
why wouldn't they want their cooperation? You want as many people as you can get.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But it is what it is. We'll see.
Right, because with WSIL out here, Channel 3, the news, they were covering it, and they had it on the Crime Watch, and they said they showed mugshots of these people, these 3 guys that escaped, that was convicted murderers, thieves, and rapists. They had their mugshots plastered all over in 3 different news stations. They had it in Cape Girardeau, Paducah, Kentucky, and Carterville, Illinois, were the 3 big news stations for this area are. And
right.
They had
if there was a fugitive out
all
there,
over the internet.
Like
if you was following me during this whole time, you saw me sharing their mugshots on Facebook. Whenever they escaped from the prison, they had them on every social media platform and every television platform they could get. They had them news reports and everything, breaking news where they'd cut into regular programming if they had a lead. They were saying, keep your eye out for these guys.
Hey,
that's why I'm saying they're doing a shitty job at covering it up.
I know a guy who was convicted falsely of murder who punched his way out of prison. Wow. His name's Luke Cage. Sorry, it's one of the Netflix shows I watch. I love that show.
Oh man.
Oh,
well,
man.
I'll tell you one guy that was convicted that escaped from Alcatraz, the Birdman of Alcatraz.
Yeah.
He's just buried 50 miles down the road from me.
Oh, wow.
No kidding.
Mm.
The guy escaped all the way from San Francisco to Metropolis, Illinois, the home of Superman.
So what happened to Freddie? How come he didn't come on here so I could give him a bunch of crap?
I sent him the link to join in, but about 20 minutes ago, I had a notification popped up where he went Facebook Live instead.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, because when he gets on here, for some reason, he's got to call in. Like, it'll show him on the screen, then he's got to call in through his phone so you can hear him. Yeah. Saturday, I think it was. We had Baltimore on here.
Mm.
And for some reason, he had audio issues I don't know, it didn't show him muted, but he wasn't getting no audio. So,
well, the weather's been all crazy everywhere. Signals are being crazy. So,
yeah.
It's the government, guys. It's the government.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to check on Lael to see if she was okay. Doesn't she live in South Carolina or North Carolina?
No, I think North Carolina. Yeah.
Lael Pelt, she's out in the Outer Banks, out by Nag's Head.
She's
had
okay.
I don't know. I haven't heard from her in a while, and I didn't see if she marked herself safe on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm wondering.
Oh. Hold on 1 second. All right, hold on 1 second.
Okay. 85.
All right. All right. I'm just trying to. I'm doing the same thing that Zach just did, leaving a group chat that we got pulled into for some reason.
No.
And then my mom was messaging me because wanting to know about what location McDonald's my daughter has for her orientation. Yeah, because she's supposed to go to a different McDonald's than the one that she's got hired at for her orientation.
Oh.
Yeah, because the McDonald's she got hired at is less than a mile up the road from me. So.
Oh, that's good.
Is that the one we passed right before we got on the highway?
Yeah, that's the one she'll be working at right there. So.
Right there on the east side.
Yeah. So exactly. Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, the McDonald's out there in Virginia are better than the ones here in Illinois.
Well, we have all the McDonald's out here. A majority of them are all newer, either brand new McDonald's or they've been what's the word I'm looking for?
Refurbished.
Yeah.
Remodel.
Yeah, remodel stuff, updated. You know, some of these McDonald's got those devices where you walk into them and they got a screen in there. You can order on the screen. I tried it one time. I said, the hell with this? I just go through the drive-thru or go order mine. I said, I don't know how to do this crap. It's like it's all touchscreen. Now they make the drinks where you got a touch screen and figure out what drink you want, and then you got to figure out what button you want to pour it into your cup. I said, what the hell is all this?
Oh, you got to get with the times.
I know. Fart, Nikki, what are you talking about?
Look here, I've helped more people with technology than anything. McDonald's is just getting stupid.
I can't even eat there anymore. That just makes me sick if I eat there.
I love my mochas. I got to get my mochas in the morning.
Oh.
Yeah. I tell you, a real good place. Me and Brianna went for the first time. It's called Moe's. It's a southwestern place.
Moe's is the awesome.
Yeah. Oh, you got them out there?
We got one over in Carbondale, and it's friggin' awesome.
Yeah, we went there for the first time. It's a southwestern grill, but what you do when you go through there, you could get a burrito, you could get a bowl, like in a taco shell bowl. It's basically you tell them what you want. They make wraps and stuff like that.
Oh, but, like a Chipotle?
It's a Mexican Subway.
Oh, it's better than a Subway. Yeah, you don't. Yeah,
it's a Mexican Subway. You go down the assembly line and you tell them what you want on your sandwich.
It's like they got the real stuff there. It's not like Taco Bell crap. Yeah, because Taco Bell is an imposter if you ask me.
Taco Bell. I'll tell you one place out there that's good is the Fish and Pig that we went to.
Yeah.
Dear God. That was some of the best food I've ever ate in my life.
Yeah, they were good there. I forgot what I got there.
I remember what I got. I got a cheeseburger and a hangover.
Oh my.
You remember you in Baltimore had to carry me out of the van and put me to bed.
Oh my goodness.
You look so cute sleeping with Brianna's teddy bear too.
Yeah, I was snuggling with that thing.
Oh my.
Lord.
Yeah, Woolly Burger said more shit to break down. Yeah, there's a Zach. Oh, the Woolly Burger said Zach has a mean crackle on his audio. I said, yeah, he's been having that the last few times he's been on here.
I think it's not really. I need to get a new phone. I mean, I updated all my apps and everything here in the last couple days. I just think I need a new phone.
Are you holding the phone free-handed, or you got a earbuds with a mic in?
I've got my headset in.
Oh, okay.
Brand new headset, shouldn't be giving it no problem.
Yeah. Huh. Because if I get on doing a live chat, do what?
It could be because I'm sitting here spitting sunflower seeds.
No, it sounds more like white noise, you know?
Yeah, like static. Yeah.
We're gonna start hearing ghosts coming through it.
Tell you what, I've had this same headset for the last 3 or 4 years now. It's been good to me though. It's not a real expensive one. I bought it through Walmart online. It's made by a company called Tech Motion. So
Tech motion. Hmm.
yeah, yeah. I'll turn my camera on and let you see what it looks like if it turns on. There we go, right here.
Hmm.
Dear God, that's one ugly thing.
But yeah, there we go.
I have some
Shut it off!
$10
Shut it
cheapies.
off!
Like my shirt.
Yep.
Yeah, bro.
So, oh yeah,
Like
what I'm
I was telling Daniel, I said I'm looking forward to next year's conference because I'm gonna be sitting there looking like a ginger Jesus because I'm gonna let my hair grow out.
Ew.
I
I'm already
can't
letting my beard grow out for hunting season.
I can't picture him with long hair. I've always seen him with short groomed hair.
No, you guys got to keep your hair short. I don't mind the beards, but I like the hair short.
Kind of like your military husband, right? Nice and neat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Well,
you and the family, you guys
I
got to
was going
come
to,
up next year.
I really want to. I'm hoping I can get my crap together and save enough to go. But man, since we bought this big house, we'll never have no money.
Oh man. I think
Hopefully you can come up for my conference here coming up next July.
July. Oh, that's when I go to Arizona.
yeah, you
Um,
Because
you're gonna have the
I've got my conference coming up, and ever since I announced Greg Yost, my thing has took a boom.
wow.
yeah. If you want to go to his conference, Nikki, you got to book now because it only holds up to 10 people.
What'd you
I'm
say? It broke out.
I'm picking on you, man.
Mm.
Oh Lord.
Oh man,
No, no, I'm joking.
that's funny.
Um, hold on, I'm getting more messages popping up. Oh, hold on. See what mom has to say. Yes,
I
I
did
know
have
I
a
have to
guy
pick her up from
from
there.
I did have a guy that was actually on These Woods Are Haunted, the former television show known as Terror of the Woods. He lives over in Indiana, about 200 miles from here. He contacted me yesterday, wanting to know if I had another spot open to speak and everything on the event page. And I told him, I said, well, if you guys are interested, let me know. Well, they backed out, so I've still got another spot opened up for the speaking event.
Let's see.
Which means I might be having Fred come on out and speak.
She's laughing. Why are you laughing,
I'm
Nick?
sorry. Shh, I'm not laughing.
Why he's gonna have another Facebook Live cussing you out.
I know. I know.
I'm picking.
I love him. I love him to death. I really, really do. I like him as a person. I do.
Yeah,
He knows I'm joking around, kind of.
I know. I think he gets a kick. He gets a
Hmm.
kick out of himself.
Keyword kinda.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
I have
Oh
no hard feelings when it comes to Freddie. You know. So.
yeah. Well, one thing I've been discussing about next year's the ECBRO Virginia Bigfoot Conference. Um, I think it'll be a lot of fun for people that show up. As far as throwing cosplay in there,
Are we
I'll
gonna
leave it
have
optional if
the
somebody.
Are we gonna have the Squatch calling contest like we supposed to have this year?
That's something we'll have to figure out because the venue that we're looking at, it's not at the same place. Same place would have been great. I mean,
Thank
we would.
God.
Yeah, if we do it there where I plan on having the venue, it would definitely have to be indoors. So
Yeah, that
um,
quinceanera was bullshit.
yeah, I know
Hmm.
it was a major interruption during the
and then we
speakers.
come back And then we come back the next day, and the whole parking lot's littered with beer cans.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
I
trashed the
know.
parking lot.
Yep. I believe it.
So yeah, because when me and Greg Corbin, when it was going on, and we finally decided, hey, let's go over there and see if we could talk to them. I didn't know who was in there. There was a bunch of these, Hispanic guys setting up. I got behind Greg because he's a big guy. So Greg, they might be MS-13. Luckily, one out of the whole group spoke English, but the rest of them did not.
Wow.
So, nah, they were cool. They were very nice guys. They were cool. They shook our hands and everything. They apologized, but they still played their music. You could tell they turned it down a little bit, but it was still booming next to us. But we just
Yeah.
had to suck it up and deal with it.
Turned it down my ass.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not their fault. They had all the right to do what they were doing there. It's the venue management that booked them with us when they weren't supposed to, because they know that we had a speaking event, where we're gonna have people speaking, giving presentations,
Yeah.
and so it's I was there was that was just one of the reasons I was not happy with that venue, and the other thing was they charged us for equipment they did not provide. We had to scrounge up and run out the last minute to find things. Luckily, we got that squared away the day before the event. um, and then the other thing
We
was
going and doing sound check and all the troubleshooting for 6 hours.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. Trying to basically when we got a piece of
you and me
equipment that
didn't
was
even
working,
get out of there till about 6 or 7.
something like that. But yeah, we had to, rig up modern equipment with Stone Age sound equipment, and luckily we had to get the wires between the Ohio Night Stalkers and Bill Lancaster having the proper wires, and everybody all working together to chip in
Yeah.
to make sure everything worked out great. I mean, it was a miracle. But so
To say the least.
oh, and then our projector screen. Our projector screen was like really sucked. It was small, but it
Oh.
worked. It worked for the audience, and then of course we had to shut all the lights off during the presentation and try to block out the sunlight coming through the front doors.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
but as much as I was kind of freaking out about the whole thing, people loved it. People were pretty much screaming that it was a success and it worked out great. And so I was actually very relaxed and impressed about the whole thing. And then
Did you ever
seeing
get
the
a
feedback.
final? Did you ever
What's
get a
that?
final count on people who were there?
I
I
estimate there's
personally
probably
did
about
not
maybe
go through and count
500 people
everybody.
there.
I'm guessing it had to be between maybe 500 because the seats were all full. We had people at one point we had all the seats full, and because there was over 200 tickets sold, so we had them and plus
There
the
was
people that
standing
came.
room only the first day.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, there was a lot of locals, a lot of extras came in afterwards. Because I ended up selling tickets a little cheaper at the door than I originally anticipated. Just to help people out because some people came the second day that weren't there the first day. So yeah, we were me and my doorman. He's like, yeah, these are some people that come in a little later. They're only here for the second day. All right, tell them I gave them a deal. We ended up going selling tickets for like $10 a person, and out of cash ticket sales extra, we had there was like $1,900 just in ticket sales for extras. So
Wow.
That's 30
yeah,
extra
that was
tickets.
like very exciting. Yeah. So yeah,
But that probably just
I'm
covered
really
your
looking forward to
expenses.
next year.
basically, but I had some things I had to pay back, and another outside of that. And so
Yeah.
basically, I kind of broke even more or less. Let's say that.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was not impressed about because we had to run AC in there. We had to run the AC because it was hot,
Yeah.
and I ended up getting those 2 days. I ended up getting a $388 bill for running electricity.
What?
Yeah, that's why another
That's
reason I
Yeah.
am not
crap.
happy. Yep.
That is crap. That should
Yeah.
just come with
They-
the building.
Oh, I
They pulled
know.
a lot of under the table shit on us.
Well, the other thing too, that Friday when I went to go pick up the key, I had received. It's my fault for losing my paperwork or misplacing it at the time. But I had to come up with an extra $600 when I picked up my key. I said, "What?" They let me give them. I had $300 on me at that time. I guess here. I said, "I don't have it. I'll have to get it back to you later." Blah blah blah. So they gave me. They let me give them the $300, and so I could get my key and get everything situated. Blah blah blah. So yeah,
Wow.
it was a headache. I ain't gonna lie. It was a lot of work, a lot of headache, but it all paid off. Everything. What paid off for me is that everybody enjoyed themselves. It worked out great. People, you know, really gained from it. And somebody on Wes Germer's blog, because he put a blog up about our event, and I saw one of the comments on there, and I was blown away by somebody. It was by somebody. I'm not sure who he is, but somebody who attended said that our event was better than the Ohio Bigfoot Conference. And when I read that, I was like, wow, for somebody to say that, that must, that spoke a lot, to me.
I think I read
So,
that too.
yeah, it was,
I think I
I was
read
pretty
that.
excited to hear that. So,
It's something
I'll be
about
honest with you, I was
that
nervous.
you guys had more accessibility to the speakers.
well,
That's
yeah,
what
I think that's a lot.
heard.
Yeah, a lot of people were able to have their own, had plenty of time to meet and greet and associate with all the speakers. Um, Day one, we had a Q&A, and I know they would have liked to have a Q&A the way on day two, the way we set up on day one, but it didn't quite work out on day two that way. But people, the way we did the Q&A on day one, that impressed a lot of people too, because they gave everybody a chance to answer, ask questions on to who they wanted, and whoever was willing to take the question, so. But yeah, it worked out real great. So our main thing right now is we're to obtain sponsors again, so we can start really doing business again and go from there. We are accepting vendor spots already, and we are looking for sponsors, and I do have one sponsor. She pretty much already promised that she's ready to sponsor as soon as we're ready to get this going. I think she already said to come December she'll make her first. She wants to make 2 donations. So her first one will be around December of this year. So that'll be cool. So I won't speak of no names till everything goes through, because that's the way we do it. Because as far as part of the sponsorship benefits is, if they have a company or whatever it may be, we always promote them. We add them to our website. We'll add them to the event shirts, our flyers, the banners, and that's what we did this past year. Talking about websites, now we do have an official website for the event. It came out last year, and with all the information with the speakers and what to expect for the event. So if anybody wants to check that out, I have some updating to do with that. I did very little so far with it right now for the updates, but that is VirginiaBigfootCon.com. And thanks to our newest member from Kentucky that is representing us, he's actually contributing to the group by creating us a website. And he started off with he's got one page of it built so far. And you go to ECBRO.org. So he's working on building us a website just for the team itself, and he plans on eventually adding in a database, a sighting database, just like the BFRO does. We're going to start submitting information, and it's going to be to where people could go in there and submit their own information, if I'm not mistaken, if the way he explained it to me. So we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. So yeah, again, that is ecbro.org. So, and if you guys have not done so, for those listening, if you are on Facebook, go to our Facebook page and give us a like, and feel free to share it around. It's the ECBRO's annual Virginia Bigfoot Con. So give us a like and share the page around. So, Nikki and Zach, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. You guys have anything you want to throw up there?
Nope. But it was fun. I hadn't been on in a while.
Oh, absolutely. I really enjoyed you coming on too. This was great. So really
Thanks.
appreciate it. And what about you, Zach? You have anything you want to throw out there?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, be sure to go and check out the Southern Illinois Monster Hunters team on Facebook. Find our page on Facebook. We've picked up quite a few likes here since I was on my last show I was on with Dogman Encounters Radio with Vic Cundiff. We're right at 700 likes almost and followers on our team page. Be sure to
Awesome.
like and share us with your friends and follow us. Um, be sure to check out the Southern Illinois Monster Hunters YouTube channel, SIMH Southern Illinois Monster Hunters on YouTube. Give us a subscribe, find a video and comment and say I subscribed, and I'll give you a shout out. We just broke close to 260 subscribers now, and I want to say thank you to everybody that goes and subscribes and everything. Be sure to check out this upcoming year. We're already announcing speakers. The Southern Illinois Monster Hunters first annual Southern Illinois Bigfoot Conference that I will be hosting July 27th of 2019 at Carnegie Library, starting at 10 a.m. It is free, guys. Come on out. It's free to get in. If you want to make a donation, we welcome that too. You get to meet the likes of me and Mr. Daniel Joseph Benoit, Greg Squatchman Yost from Jeffersonville, Indiana. They'll all be there to speak. We're working on lining out our fourth and final speaker. So be sure to check us out there and give us a like, share us with your friends. Let's get the word out because we've already got a quite big attendance response so far. And also, I want to, never mind, I'll leave that one out. It's kind of facetious.
Go ahead. I want to hear this.
I want to give a shout out to my #1 fan, Southern Kratom. I love you, bud.
All right.
Well, gosh,
Sorry.
I guess
He's one of my newest.
Oh, go ahead.
He's one of my newest haters.
He's on all our chat all the time. He's just a hardcore skeptic. That's what he is. He's another skeptic.
Well, I just want to say thanks for your criticism because you're the reason that we keep doing what we're doing.
Well, that's right. And yeah, and Zach, keep an eye on your subscribers because the last couple shows I've done, after I go off, I go ahead and add what you call a card, and I've been doing a digital promo at the beginning of when people go to watch this afterwards. They'll be able to see the little thing at the top of their viewing screen where it'll tell you if they click on it, they can go subscribe to your channel. The last one we did, I actually did Bill Lancaster's. I gave him a shout out. So I try to rotate like certain ones I know and I deal with. So yeah, like yours, I've done yours twice so far, and then I think I've done Bill's the last one. So, yeah, guys, thank you guys for tuning in and listening. We will be back at a later date. And if you have questions, topics you want discussed, feel free to email me, ecbro98@gmail.com. Or if you're on Facebook with me, you can message me directly or anybody that participates on the podcast. If you want to reach out to them and share something with them that you want discussed, well, it's more than merrier. It'll be our pleasure. So, meanwhile, you guys have a good night. Oh, yes, go ahead.
Wait, I was just going to say you can find me at my group on Facebook at Bigfoot Weekly.
That's right.
Me and Vic Gutierrez started that group, and we just now hit 700. But we're a closed group, so you have to know us to come and participate.
So if you guys are listening right now, if you go to request to join Bigfoot Weekly on Facebook, just tell them that you got the word about, you learned about it through the ECBRO podcast show. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
Yeah, and I want to also want to throw this out there. Please be keeping me in your thoughts and prayers. My goal September 28th to have a 30-day heart monitor put on me. We're still trying to figure out what is wrong with me. Let's see, I go for a follow-up with my doctor that morning at 8:45 in the morning, and then I go at 1:45 that afternoon to have the heart monitor put on. And then the next day, I get to be in the Wonder Water Parade representing the Southern Illinois Monster Hunters and the ECBRO. I invite everybody to come out to that. I forgot about that. And then October 5th, I go to Carbondale Cardiovascular Center to have a lot of tests run on me. So hopefully within the next month and a half, I'll have some answers to what's going on with me and my heart.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you heard, Zach's calling it a heart monitor. They want to know what's wrong with him, but he fails to mention the doctor called it a brain monitor. Anyway, I'm joking.
What'd you say? You broke up again.
Okay, as long as Nikki heard me, that's all that matters. You'll have to go back and do a replay. You guys have a good night. Keep it squatchy, everyone.